Market higher.
All right, Danny, you too. I mean, you know, yesterday you were a little callous, but that's okay. You were talking about making money on the dip. That's your thing. We had a big dip yesterday. It was an artificial dip, and you took advantage.
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing, though, is, like Matt, I was really surprised at the size of this market today. I think it was really exciting. And we've seen that over and over and over, haven't we? We've been surprised by how the market has been so resilient. But some numbers today that I thought were fabulous, that I think are right up your alley. UNP up almost 5%. Third quarter profits up almost 19%. Freight car orders 236% year-over-year growth. Rails are
Union Pacific closed at an
rails.
all-time high. I had a couple of these rail stocks. I think I did American Rail on a make Danny, that the closer we get to that moment where we don't need any more help is when so many people on Wall Street are worried the bottom will fall out.
Yeah, we're kind of upside down in that regard. But I would say that today we saw evidence that Ebola does spook the markets. I mean, the market came off about 80 points.
I saw
when that
to
New
your
York
point,
City, you know,
244 New York Post, cat food and dog food. Now here's the thing, Danny. Recently, Emanuel, one of the cheerleaders of Obamacare, one of the architects of Obamacare, said that he hopes that he dies at age 75. And the whole thing is, as he started to talk about it, really made it sound like old age. It sounds like misery after 75, and it's worth dying. You add a layer of not having any money on there. I mean, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Well, he said this to start a conversation, first of all, because people are living longer, and we don't have enough fortification.
Is that like yelling fire in a crowded movie theater to start a conversation?
No, and it is really a good conversation to have. And the reason is because we have pharmaceuticals making our lives last longer, but do we have a quality of life because of financial stability? No, we don't. Social Security is a big hot mess, and that is not this administration's fault necessarily. It's a problem that just continues to exacerbate, and we have decided not to talk about it.
But Danny, to be honest with you,
driven by the consumer, and on one hand we want people to be frugal, on the other hand, hey, go out and spend so my Under Armour stock can go up.
The reason why an economy expands, and we are seeing this in China, is because of credit, and credit that people are using. So you're basically borrowing tomorrow's dollars today. So that expansion of an economy is what helps an economy grow.
You know you're in dangerous ground.
talk about it. Very intimidating.
How would you talk to him about it?
Well, you've got to start saving really early. So I'll give you a quick example. If you're 25 years old and you're saving $100 a month, and maybe that's a lot for some people, versus somebody who's 35 starting to save $100 a month. By the time you're 65, the 25-year-old who started saving at that point will have $326,000 and change. The 35-year-old will have $142,000.
The moral of the story is the sooner you start, the better.
The early bird.
And consistent, too.
Who is not a day trader. If you can ride these things out and you have a great investment philosophy, I think you're going to make a lot of money. What do you think, Danny?
I love that. I think you're absolutely right, Charles. And we don't see eye to eye all the time, but long term, you have to look for the long game. You're in it for the long haul. These little bumps, and sometimes they're big bumps, but you've got to hold strong to that long game.
And he's thinking outside the box. He's not following the crowd.
Cut, because I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really benefit us. It doesn't benefit us as citizens.
And come on, Danny, when you're like a savage terrorist somewhere in the world and you see one of those UN soldiers with the blue helmet come around the corner, you just start laughing.
And the like red pantaloons and stuff like that. I take aim. You know, there's a lot of, pork out there everywhere. And this is the third largest country population-wise in the world. We're right behind China and India. Don't forget, with 350 million people here. We're the richest country in the world. There's a tremendous amount of regulation, overlay, etc., and there's a lot of mouths to feed. And unfortunately, it lends itself to this proliferation of...
Why layer on another set of bureaucracies that may not always have our best interests at heart? Okay, guys, you know what I'm doing. All right, but here, Danny, can I take the look at the doubling in the Brazilian butt procedure as a sign that the economy is coming back? Can I stretch it? Am I stretching it a little bit?
Two data points that are just way too far
Really?
apart.
That's disposable income. We talked last night. Listen, we talked last night about motorcycles,
and discretionary.
off-road. Discretionary spending up big. Maybe someone had a lot of extra cash and said, "Let me lift the butt."
You know what? It could be.
I
personally believe that, I think that we're teaching the wrong things to our young people by doing these kinds of implementations.
So then let me quick, guys. I'm going to go around tagged by his employer. He posted the photos, of course, on social media, and he's out. So, Danny, upon further review, was Chili's out of bounds here a little bit, or not really, or Or should maybe Justin consider some of the surgery we talked about in the previous segment?
Well, no matter what he considers, he should consider not taking his phone with him into his job anymore. And I really do think that people don't consider.
But did he break the law, though? I mean,
no, I don't. I mean, what law? What law could it be?
Of 80. All right, Danny. Tell me why
I was laughing at that chart.
You like to buy the dip.
I do like to, and I do like the space, and we really like the space. I think, you know, they've had 52% year-over-year growth, which is phenomenal. I'd like to see them make some money.
Yeah.
They do have some really big clients, which is really interesting, which shows you that, you know, to get those types of clients, you have to jump through a lot of hoops.
Although,
this is a woman that needs to be a role model for all younger ladies.
I like to talk about that F-bomb thing, too, a little bit, but not today.
Well, we've been talking about
because I think that's intriguing.
Hashtag like a girl, you know, everything that women do and girls do. Let's make it all about just power.
Well, money to rich people.
It's actually on Thanksgiving now, because I think Macy's is opening up at like 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving. But, you know, I think the interesting thing, too, is Janet Yellen is the most powerful person in the world.